Join us now for the expert source for inside information on the options markets. It's time for Options Insider Radio with your host, Mark Longo.
Welcome back to Options Insider Radio. Our next guest is an old friend of the website, but a newcomer to the radio show. He is Jack Walker, the head of marketing for Ivolatility.com, and he also does quite a few other things in there, editor and a variety of other interesting things, which we'll get to. But Jack, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Mark. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to chat with you a little bit and explore what's going on in the Options Insider. I think it's a very, very interesting and exciting opportunity.
Well, we're glad we can get you on. And now we know Ivolatility pretty well on the site. We have some of your content up there these days, and we work with you in a variety of different aspects. But I'm sure there's a few of our listeners at home right now who are saying, you know, what is Ivolatility? What do these guys do? Obviously, there's vol in their name, so there's something interesting in the volatility aspect with that. So why don't you give our listeners a little bit of a rundown of what Ivolatility.com is?
Well, we kind of think in the category of volatility we're at. I mean, it's in our name, and it's in the character of the business. We're basically data providers, and we provide options data from all the exchanges, and we aggregate them together into our websites. We have an internet-delivered website product with all of the options information you would ever possibly want to know, and perhaps even a little bit more than that, including charts and the calculations and all the deltas and Greeks and all that kind of stuff, internet delivered. And of course, for many years, people had to have their own data feeds and their own programs, and you had to, continuously be updating your software. And it was quite a job to keep an upstairs options operation going, for a long time. But with the internet now and internet feeds, I mean, the world's quite a bit easier in order to do this stuff. So we've been doing it for 10 years now. As a matter of fact, this year we're celebrating our 10th anniversary, and we call it 10 in 2010. So we've been in the business, we think quite a bit longer than many of the other people, that are in the business. One of the things that I'm particularly proud of with iVolatility is our volatility charts. We think we have some of the best volatility charts in the business. So for, those traders or those strategists that focus on the difference between the two different volatility measures, say, for example, the historical volatility and the implied volatility, our volatility charts would be very, very handy for you.
Interesting you mentioned that you're having your 10th anniversary because that coincides very well with the ISE's 10th anniversary. And in fact, you guys were co-founded by team members of the ISE. Is that correct?
Yes, we have very, very, very strong and close relationships with them. I was not involved with iVolatility at the time, so frankly, I don't know just exactly what those relationships are, but we know we do. We continue to have very good relationships with those folks.
On a brief side note, I'm kind of curious, finding yourself in the online volatility data set space, it's a very targeted subset of a subset. So I'm curious, how did you find yourself at Ivolatility.com?
Well, I think it just came about as a result of our ability to quickly do all these computations from all the various different markets. I mean, if you can understand how complicated it is and all the data that comes in order to calculate all the Greeks and the prices and put all that stuff up on the internet in a relatively short period of time, and in some cases on a real-time basis, the computational power is massive. So that's the space we operate in, and we've been doing it for quite some time.
Now, were you an options trader, or were you a programmer, or were you a little bit of both?
Yeah, I was an options trader, options strategist, portfolio manager, which is basically my background. I come from the actual execution side and risk management side.
Now, I know I introduced you as the head of marketing, but you wear many hats over there at Ivolatility.com, as I do at Options Insider as well. And one of the hats you wear is actually editor as well, because you put out that Volatility Digest that we run on our side as well. I think that's a pretty interesting piece of content you guys put out every week. So tell our listeners a little bit about what that is and what kind of content you put in that.
Well, we have a number of different tools available at our site, rankers and scanners. And in speaking with our clients in our database, there are a good number of our folks that really don't have time to do a lot of the analytical work themselves, but they would like to see good trading ideas. So we have taken the Trading Digest and said, well, perhaps we'll go in and we'll do some of the ranking and scanning ourselves and basically produce, ideas and suggestions, as we call them, to folks based upon our own rankers and scanners. We can scan for active volatility. We can scan for combinations of increasing volatility and volume, and we think there's some good information that can be derived by looking at and using some of those tools. And so the digest is basically a way where we publish some of those suggestions and put them out there to people and have them take a look at them and try them, and basically trading ideas. And we also do some market analytics. And of course, we've gotten a lot more sophisticated in our market analytical work lately. So, we do that periodically. I'm doing that now every 2 weeks, and we're also making trading suggestions on a weekly basis.
Now, who is the ideal end user for the Ivolatility.com and your scanners and products? Is it the prop shop guy? Is it the high end institutional guy? Is it the high end retail guy? Who are you aiming at with your various products?
I think it's a combination of all of those, and it's a little hard for us to segment just exactly who they all are. We also know that we have worldwide distribution, or very rapid and quick, in some cases real-time distribution. So we have clients on the other part of the globe. A lot of clients in Asia, a lot of clients in India and other places. A lot of people that are just now learning. Also people that have some experience and are knowledgeable in the business. It's a full range.
I think one of the enduring themes of this show is just the explosive growth of high-end retail and how that's taking over a lot of the options market. And whereas in the past, a product like yours would have been exclusively the domain of the institutional guy, and they'd be the ones willing to pay for that sort of thing. But now, the growth of that market's nowhere near the explosive growth we're seeing in that kind of high-end retail market. Those guys who are maybe self-taught and they've kind of come up through the ranks of basic retail, and now they're trading larger size. Could be former market makers, could be a lot of different people fall into that mix. But those people seem to be where a lot of the growth is these days, and a lot of the interest in the option space. And we're seeing a lot of people like yourself who have products that would have been traditionally, the high end of the market, are now either offering new versions or new price points or scaling down or whatever it takes to do to go after that much larger market of the high end retail. So I'd imagine that's probably going to be a growing aspect for you guys going forward.
As it has been. And of course, we offer a number of very affordable and analytical tools. So for people that are in this business and they don't have a large budget, they don't have a lot of money to spend. You take a look at some of our subscription-based offerings through our website, our rankers and scanners, and our data services. And I think you'll find that even for immodest traders, the amount of cost that's involved here makes it well within the range of affordability. Whereas just a few years ago, a lot of people would look at that and say, well, the data stream is basically prohibitive to me. I can't be in that business. It just costs too much money. But we think that that's probably not the case now. You probably can. If you have some experience in these areas, take a look at some of our product offerings and see if they might not fit into your budget stream.
What are we talking then? What kind of range or budget are we talking about? Where does it start? I guess is probably the question.
Oh, probably $50, $60, $70 a month. You can probably get a whole lot of analytical and data service tools. I mean, you'd be surprised the amount of things that you can get for that kind of budget. $100 a month, I mean, you could be, fat and happy and ready to go.
Well, we certainly like our users fat and happy. That's what we aim for all the time. Well, Jack, that's about all I have for you, unless there's something that you would like to add.
Well, thanks, Mark. I think you're doing a great job in getting this data out. Your website is tremendous in terms of the amount of data that you have on there. And,
Thank you.
And I encourage you to continue doing it. I appreciate the fact that it's a lot of work and you're doing a good job at it.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that. We're happy to have Ivolatility as one of our content partners. We look forward to doing a lot of work with you guys in the future.
Well, we're happy to be here and happy you invited us.
And that's going to do it for this episode of Options Insider Radio. Be sure to visit www.theoptionsinsider.com for more episodes of this program, as well as breaking news from the options market, the latest articles and analysis from options experts, a wide variety of options education, and of course our discussion center where you can share your questions, comments, and insights with your fellow Options Insider users. While you're there, be sure to register for our monthly email newsletter, as well as our free email alert system. Our email alert system makes it even easier to stay up to date on the latest content from theoptionsinsider.com. Thanks again for listening. My name is Mark Longo, and I'll see you next time on Options Insider Radio.
Options Insider Radio was created by Mark Longo and produced by Gene Crotty. Options Insider Radio is a production of the Options Insider Incorporated, all rights reserved.